there, guys. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you all had a nice weekend. I know it's sad that that is over, but it's over. It's time to move on to the week. And I don't know about you guys, but I spent my Saturday night trying my hard Hydra team in Brutal. So there are strong concerns that I might need a life. Those can be addressed at a later date. But yeah, I know I've showed you guys my team in the past. The last video I did, I got a personal best for me, which was over 100 million with this team on hard. Rosalvarg, Newt, or Nut. I don't know. Is there consensus on how to say it? Not sure. Python, Shamil, Artak, Ugo. And then last week, actually, while I was out of town, I didn't bother doing another video because it's the exact same team. And, you know, I didn't change any gear or anything. Although I did book Rosalvarg, so that did change. But actually, last week when I was out of town, I got a new personal best of 120 million on hard. But my clan only recently unlocked Brutal, so I'd never tried it there, so I decided to take the team, you know, take the gang into Brutal for the first time. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been a little scared about it because it's my team. I've put a lot of work into them, and it would be sad to go in there and just get pooped on, you know? I would cry a little bit on my Saturday night. That'd be very sad. But, and then obviously, like I've talked about before, this team has a lot of weaknesses. It doesn't have decreased speed, it doesn't have provoke, it doesn't have hex. So it's not the most amazing Hydra composition ever created. It's just when you're on kind of the lower difficulties, hard, normal, your weaknesses aren't going to show as much. You could, you know, on someone whose account is like me, not that I have a super good account or anything, but you know, on somebody who's been playing for a while, you could probably just take whatever the heck into like normal Hydra and just, you know, one key it, you know, hard Hydra, depending on where you're at. You really don't have to put crazy thought into it, because like I did 120 mil, but the chest is, I think it's like 21 mil. It's 20.4 million for the best chest. Normal is like 6.66. Always remember that one because of the 666. That one's easy. So you don't kind of need to start worrying about all of those things that you need until you need them. Oh, I guess I spoiled it. So I did go into Brutal for the first time, and the gang did 50.86. So I have mixed feelings about it, I guess, because on the one hand, the top chest is 29.4. So on the one hand, it is an easy one key, technically. But on the other hand, you know, doing 120 million sounds so much cooler. And then, you know, my score just keeps going down, right? So, you know, if this goes into Nightmare, it's going to be even less than 50.86 million. So we would probably just get absolutely dominated there. I don't even know what's the top chest. Ugh, 36.6. I doubt we could do that because, yeah. And so the thing is, my experience with Brutal so far, everything is just a little bit worse, right? Like every head is just, they're tankier, they hit harder, you know, you hit them less hard. And so it's just sort of escalating. And I'm definitely starting to feel the weaknesses of my team. The decreased speed especially, you know, like I only was able to last like 30 minutes in this Brutal fight, whereas these hard fights, my team can last for like an hour. So, you know, we definitely need to get that decreased speed online. I know I've talked about it before in other videos. All of my most wanted champs right now are decreased speed champs. I really want somebody who's great at just keeping this constantly applied AoE decreased speed, but that's actually quite hard to find. Or at least somebody with a good kit. You know, there are some people that have it, but like it's, you know, it's got a bad cooldown, something like that. So I really want to get one of the good ones, like somebody who has it on their A1, like White Dryad Nia. That would be like a dream for me. And yeah, I need to get somebody either in provoke gear or just get somebody who's a provoker, because that'll help control the head of decay. And yeah, so everything's just a little bit more annoying, right? You know, Wrath hits you a little bit harder. You start to feel the HP loss of, or the max HP loss of the Head of Decay a little bit more, and everything just gets a little more annoying. And I mean, like, you can see he almost just like outright killed him. Decreased attack is a little more important, you know, like I wouldn't say that's super necessary on some of the other difficulties, but all of the heads hit super, super hard. And it's getting harder, you know, to take my squishies out there, like Razelvarg. You can see, like, basically every time they attack, he's almost dying. And yeah, so my team is lacking in a lot of areas. It needs a lot of the things that most people consider kind of integral to this fight, but it's okay. I'll keep working on it, get them eventually. And then also, I did notice with Shamail, because he's my buff tank, he was actually getting pretty weak sometimes, and he's built super tanky. So they're, you know, they're definitely hitting a lot harder. You're starting to feel that more on the Shamail, because he's an epic. He only has epic base stats, and he's an attack champ. Even though a lot of people build him tanky and use him as the buff tank, I was definitely feeling that a lot more. Like, he was taking a lot more damage, getting pretty weak at some points of the fight. Like here, he's very weak in comparison to everybody else. So noticing things like that a lot more. And then speaking of Shamail, the other thing that concerns me about my team is that this is the Fearhead. You know, the Fearhead is in the starting rotation, and you guys know how it works. Like, if you have Shamail, the Fearhead is like on your team. You love this guy, you know, because every time he applies the fear, Shamail is going to cleanse it, and then he's going to give a turn meter boost to your lead, which in my case is Razelvarg. So I have a ton of, you know, extra turns, extra damage that I'm getting because of this interaction between Shamail and the Fearhead. And if this rotation changes, you know, suddenly this team that was working great on, you know, easy 1k on Brutal, it might just be not even relevant anymore, because definitely that's benefiting me a lot. And it has been the Fearhead rotation for a while now, so it's kind of hard to see where I'm going to be at. But yeah, I mean, that's got to be giving me millions of extra damage. So that's why I worry. I don't really think this is a Brutal team at its heart. It's just sort of like so many teams abusing the interaction between Shamail and the Fearhead, the head of Torment. And then the other thing, I've been kind of thinking about certain things. Like, right now I've got Razelvarg in the lead, and my thought process was he's placing increased speed, he's placing increased accuracy, he's hitting AoE, and so my thought process was that he would be the ideal leader. Plus, if he's in the lead, his aura, you know, I think it's 19% speed, so my whole team is getting whatever his aura is. It's like 19, 20, somewhere around there. So we're all getting that. He's in the lead. He's doing his stuff more often. I was considering, I don't know if it would be better to have Newt in the lead, because, come on, use it, Newt. You can see, you know, he's going to walk up and do 255,000 3 times, which is like almost 1 million damage. So I wasn't sure, is Newt better in the lead? Should he be the one benefiting from all these extra turns and things that Shamail is providing? I honestly don't have an answer. And I kind of wanted to test it, but it's like, it's hard, right? Because like, this took me 1 hour and 6 minutes. This took me 1 hour and 8 minutes. This took me like half an hour, but it took, you know, it took a few tries, get everything going, you know, got to work through some bad RNG, all that. So it's hard to test, because it's like you finish it and you're okay with the score, and you're like, do I really want to spend another hour on this? I don't. So maybe next week I'll, you know, have my motivation and a little bit of time for that as well. But it's just so hard to test things, because every time you tweak one thing and you're like, oh, I want to test that, you're like investing in another like half an hour to an hour, maybe even more fight. So, but I wasn't sure, you know, Razelvarg, he's hitting all the AoEs, so that's a lot of damage, especially on a downed head. He'll hit them really hard, but then, you know, you've got Newt with the mega big smacks on his blessed bash. So I don't know, maybe that would have been a better DPS situation overall for me. I don't know. I don't claim to be the expert. I'm just muddling my way through this just like we all are. So I don't know about that. So that was my experience with my team on Brutal. I've showed you guys the champions builds in other videos, so I don't want to like, you know, to spend time talking about those for the millionth time and bore you with that. I do have more detailed videos on it if you are interested in like the actual champs. I can just show you them all quickly. Artok was on that team. Python was on that team. Rosalvarg was on that team, and he finally got his books. Okay, it's 20%. Okay, good to know. So Rosalvarg was on that team. I can't do Savage. I'm not rich. I wish he could be in Savage, but it's just like speed. Speed and crit damage. Best I could do for you guys. There's Mr. Newt. Oh yeah, that needs to be leveled. Note to self. And I mentioned this in the other one. I know the crit damage seems low, but as you can see from the fact that he hit the same damage number 3 times in a row, like, once again, he's hitting the cap. Like, that's, you can't hit any more than that. You can only hit 10% of somebody's max HP in Hydra, so that was the cap. Like, if he had 300%, it would not have done any extra for me there. He's capping, you know, that's it. So you don't have to be super concerned about this number on a max HP hitter, like 216, 220, like you're right about there. Shamail, he's totally acting as my buff tank. He just has a lot of resistance. He's very slow, so that the buffs expire slowly on him. He'll always have the most buffs, so that means the Head of Mischief, which is that annoying buff steely head, will always target him. He also has a Blood Shield Ring, which will give him even an additional buff. So he serves as that Head of Mischief should attack him every time, and he has so much resistance that, barring bad RNG, which does happen, it shouldn't be stolen. And Ugo, applying black buffs, decreased defense. That's the Ugo. And I think that should be everybody. Yeah. So that is the gang once again. And then the other thing I did, since the hard team moved up to normal, oops, not Doomtower. Since the hard team moved up to brutal, I moved the normal team up to hard, and yeah, they did fine too. They did 42.6. These guys, again, it's missing like a million things that you need, but you know, it's hard. It's not Nightmare, so that was the team. And honestly, they could have done better. I just didn't feel like running it again. Geomancer, this is how, like, I don't know how tired I was or whatever, but Geo actually got eaten, and I did not notice for like several turns. And then I was like, oh my god, Geomancer is just gone. So this team could have done a lot better. Geo got eaten right under my eyes. So yeah, definitely not well played by me. But these are the guys. They did fine. So I guess we're doing brutal, hard, normal, at least on this rotation, so that's nice. I just threw random stuff into normal. It's just like a bunch of nukers and not really any supports. I know you're thinking like, wow, Hefrek, he should do more than that, but I just ran out of supports. Everybody was feared the whole time. I don't have a buff tank on this one or people with resistance, so the heads just had like every buff the whole time. They just got like block damage and continuous heal, and yeah, it was a complete disaster actually. And my good Geomancer is being used in the hard team, so this is my clan boss Geomancer because he's my DPS in my Ultra Nightmare team. So this is just a very, very slow Geomancer with a lot of crit damage, so that is definitely not the ideal way to build your Geomancer for Hydra. It is a great way to build your Geomancer for Clan Boss, but yeah, this was him, so not great. So, but all you need for normal is the 6.66. So we're there. So that's fine. But I know you all have better looking geomancers than that, and I do too. He was just in the other team. So yeah, I guess that's my Hydra update for the week. I tried Brutal for the first time, I did it. I was kind of scared because I was going to be sad if they just went out there and did like, 10 mil and the chest is 30 mil. It would have just been very, very sad. But I'm definitely hoping to make these improvements, decrease speed, get people in better builds. I booked Visix. I need to level her. She does have decreased speed, and she has ally protect and stuff, so I want to see where I can fit her in the team. But, the thing about building a team is that if she's in, who's out? I don't know. So I wonder if she can be a buff tank, but then she wouldn't be no, she can't, because then she would be very slow at applying decreased speed, which is not what we want. So, yeah. So I'll have to figure out the whole thing. Who knows? I'll show you guys my exciting conclusion. Let's see how I died. Let's see how it all ended. Rosalvarg's dead. He's been dead. He's been dead for a while. I think Shamil got eaten maybe, and then everybody just gets feared. It looks kind of good because they're all HP burned, but it usually it all goes to heck very quickly. Somebody's being digested. We're like 120 turns in, so yeah, that's when they start eating people really quickly, and you only have 2 turns to save them, and not a lot Ugo and Python are gonna do here. You can do this. Ruzzleberg's back. So at some point you just, you can't anymore. So I was happy. I thought it was gonna end at like 49, and then I was gonna be like, no, let's hit 50 at least. But that's what the gang did. And then just like, I went out there, I took my hard team, and I tried Brutal. I think that any of you guys who haven't tried normal yet, or you haven't tried hard yet, you have absolutely nothing to lose. The gear that you get is good. Sorry, not Doom Tower. Again, you get these, you can get this stuff. You get the Mithrala fragments. I have them, so they're not shown here. You get some soul stones, some clan points. The gear is good. This is stone skin protection. So I think if this isn't an area that you've looked at, if you're afraid of it, you should definitely go out there, try it. You have nothing to lose. You can reset as many times as you want, try everything you want. It's one of the areas of the game that I have the most fun in because, well, I don't know, constant improvement there. Like, how often are you improving like your dragon team? It's probably been the same for like years. So this is one of the few places that, I can go out and try stuff, and it's cool. I like it. But I hope you guys have a great week. I'm sure you'll see me, soon. I've been trying to post every few days. I don't know if you've noticed, the maximum I will allow myself to go without posting a video is 3 days. So that's the schedule I've set for myself. If I have stuff to say, sometimes I'll post more often than that, but I'm trying not to burn out and balance it with all my other things and stuff. But I thank you guys so much for chilling with me, commenting, interacting, liking, subscribing, even if you're not doing any of those things, even if you're just, you watched and you didn't feel the need to like or subscribe or anything, that's totally fun. I appreciate that you even took the time to check out the video. And it's been super fun hanging out with all you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your week and take care of yourselves. Bye.